Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I'm back, and I'm Gemma.
And I'm James, and I will attempt to do a reasonably level introduction to myself. I've been informed that I sound sometimes a bit too robotic.
Yes. Well, it was a genuine, nice, kind feedback that I was trying to give you there, James.
It was.
But yes, and now he's used it against me, the bastard. No, what all I meant is that because you're not used to doing the intro, sometimes you do come across as being a little bit like, "Hi there, and welcome to James."
I understand. No, I get it. I come across as a bit too much Radio Land, don't I?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas, like I said in the message, just so that the Salty Tadpoles are clear on all of the information, I said, you don't need to be presenter, James. Just be you, because you are good enough. Did I not say something like that?
Something along those lines, every little wonderful fibre of being that is you. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, just a bit of humour, Tadpoles, just a bit of humour.
No, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We would have probably, Gemma would have edited out that bit if for 1 second it was serious. But you're hearing it because Gemma can't be asked to edit it out. Yeah. So
no, it's all good. We're hearing the unfiltered reality of the situation. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, and I've still got an echo behind my audio, but that's because I'm off next week. So I'm going to have a little play around to see if I can try and solve the echo empty room kind of issue, even though I haven't got an empty room, but I have got lots of walls. So just need to get some nice soft furnishings that can bounce the audio nicely around the room. So if I'm coming across as echoey again, I'm ever so sorry, but there you have it.
I think it sounds okay. Alternatively, you could become the world's largest holder of egg cups. Well, not egg cups, but egg, holders, and surround yourself by them, which would resolve the problem. And if it makes you feel any better, I keep getting a weird echo effect on my right headphone. So I don't know if it's that I've dropped it or I've had something on too loud that's affected it, but it is what it is. It adds to the experience, this strange, weird, echoey, shaky effect. So, Salty Tadpoles, you're learning all about our audio issues this week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you can hear about all my real issues if you like, but also we just also just got a notification on my computer saying Adele is ready to Dell computer is ready and blah blah blah. So if anyone
I thought you were saying Adele. I thought you were saying Adele like the singer. Like what? Who? Where? When?
Oh,
do you know that I don't?
Yeah, no, she's ready. She's in the other room at the moment.
Right.
So James, it's been 3 weeks, near enough. 2 weeks, but anyway. How have you been over the last 2 weeks?
I've been cheating on you repeatedly with not two, but 3 women, because I'm just a terrible human being, clearly.
I know. Yes. James has been covering me while my work has been insanely busy. I'll get into that when we get to my week. But no, you've done a very good job. And you, at the end of, the episode that was called The Fae Chronicles, I think it was called Fae Touched Chronicles, sorry.
Uh-huh.
You said it's either to do or a do. I don't know. Somebody will correct me. Every time you say it, I correct you. It's to do.
To do, right. I shall try and remember
that. But
rather like trying to cancel Zoom, I will put a little sticky note somewhere.
No, that wasn't your fault. That was fine.
No. Lo and behold, I cancel Zoom, but it still doesn't allow it to be cancelled. Weird, even though they get you every time. They get you every single time, these companies, the swines.
I know, because we misunderstood, because we thought we'd paid for Zoom for a month, because obviously we had the wonderful Chesney Hawks on. So that's why we paid for Zoom. But I don't think we kind of understood, or I didn't understand anyway, that the 28th was actually part of the next month rather than, because you did a recording on the 28th, didn't you? But and to be fair, I didn't know either. So, and so obviously it went on to the next month, but it doesn't matter. It's only 14 quid, 15 quid, whatever it was.
It could be a lot. Could be a lot worse. And it's, I mean, it was great interviewing Chesney, and we clearly monopolised his time.
Yes, exactly. We definitely made our 15 minutes worth, £15 worth, didn't we? £7.50 each. But yeah, it's all good. It is. It's a drop in the ocean after all.
It is. It all adds to the rich tapestry of life. So
yes. So I know you have been up to something quite fun, but I know you can't actually talk about that said something at the moment, but but I would like to ask the Salty Tadpoles to wish James all the luck, and when he can, he will tell us all about it. And it's something actually really positive, which is nice. So
it's either going to be, let's hope whatever I can respond with the information, it's going to be positive or negative. But the way I look at the whole thing that's going on is it's positive because it's an experience. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, even if it doesn't happen, it's still, like you said, and to me good. It's you've got some stories to tell with it. So finally he's bringing content to the show, guys.
It's all right. By that comment, Tadpoles, I may whip that content away.
Please don't.
The last possible second.
Please don't.
No.
It would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice to hear the story if you can and when you can. So, when you can, not if.
Either way, there will be a story there, so it's all good. It will all be of interest. So
yes, definitely. Because I'm finding it rather interesting already, guys. I know the secret. Na, 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 na. So what else have you been up to?
Nothing majorly. It's just started snowing here, which is always fun.
I'm jealous again, as always.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be too much fun when we have 2 incessant days of the evil bastard white stuff. But that's not actually my Codswallop. We'll get to that shortly when we can share our Codswallop. But what I've been up to, seen a few. Saw my dad. That was nice. Saw a couple of friends when I was also visiting him. So that was quite a pleasant thing. That was last Friday. So yeah, that was nice to see him and spend a bit of time with him. And that's about all I know. And I bumped into my aunt and uncle yesterday, so that was nice when I was out. So yeah, not too bad. What about you?
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm going to take the podcast a little bit on a serious side at the moment. But that's only because I have been struggling a little bit with my mental health, and so I don't want to bring the podcast down, but I get it out the way at the beginning so we can have a good old laugh at the end. So, but yeah, over the last few weeks, and because my work has been really, really busy, we've just had a price increase. So all of the customers are, of course, sending their purchase orders in. Well, not all of them, but some of them are sending them in wrong with the old prices on, which is extra stress. And when you're, like everybody knows, I'm still suffering with the long COVID and whatnot, and the added extra of trying to work, really concentrate on work and feeling like I've not slept for, I don't know even how long. And my mental health is really, really at a low point. So I'm quite happy to be doing this episode today, though. So I'm hoping this will cheer me up. So James, you have to cheer me up today.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's quite a tall order, but I will try my best. But no, I can appreciate on what you're saying about, obviously, long COVID. It leaves you completely battered. So when you are trying to do things, it is a hell of an uphill struggle. So you're doing well with what you're doing to deal with the sheer level of stuff that I know is coming your way.
Yeah,
you're doing at the best of times it'd be tricky. At this time, it's extra tricky. It's like trying to clear a snow path with and the dog agrees, it's like trying to clear a snow path with a small spoon.
It certainly is. I'm just going to go and check on him a second because I'm the only one here. So
I think he senses postal flesh.
Maybe. I'm just going to go and double check though, because I am the only one in the house. So I'll be 2 seconds, everybody. Bear with. do, 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 do.
It was the postman.
It was the postman. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I'm back, salty tadpoles.
That poor, was it the postman or postwoman?
Yeah, it was, it was just the postman putting a couple of letters through the door. I don't know which one it was, but we will get onto that in a moment.
Okay, I feel very sorry for the postal worker being barked at. So,
well, he's only barking. He's only doing his job.
Yeah, he hasn't sought flesh yet. So that's a positive sign.
No, he would never do that anyway. Let's not joke about him biting people, because he doesn't bite people. He's a very, very good dog. No, he, on a serious note, he really wouldn't. So, anyways, he's distracted me for how I was feeling, so that's fine. But yeah, it's just been a bit hard for me balancing everything. And I said to James, and we've not decided 100% yet, but maybe that we take April off of the podcast, because April is going to be an awful lot of training for me to do because of my work. And as much as I'd rather it was work that I had to give, in the sense of not giving up something that I truly love, but it's unfortunately, I'm juggling quite a lot of things at the moment, and I just can't cope with it. So we're contemplating either we may do a couple of banked episodes to to have some episodes in April, but if not, it's going to be that we just take the month of April off and we'll be back in May. But we'll see what happens. But just giving the tadpoles a little heads up as to what's what.
Yep,
so
absolutely, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And it's my 40th birthday, and I have to go into the office the following day for like an entire week. So apart from Easter weekend.
That's nice of them.
I know. So I'm not even, I've not even planned anything for my birthday or anything like that. Like my mum keeps saying, well, what would you like to do? What would you like to have? Kind of thing. Because she's trying to make it special for me, which, is very kind of her. But at the moment, all I just want to do is get this training out of the way so that I can actually just relax. But
to be fair, I didn't do anything for my birthday. So it's, everyone sort of says, oh, you've got to do great, this idea that you do great big things. But on my actual birthday, I didn't do stuff. I got a very nice message off you and your mother, but and I spoke to my father and my uncle, but I didn't actually, and family members, so I didn't actually do anything. So
you're
not alone.
No, exactly. But you did have your lovely barbecue that you were put on by
that was by Lyndon.
For Lyndon,
this confusing this poor middle-aged man yet again.
But he did a grand job, didn't he?
Certainly did. He certainly did. Once again, thank you, Lyndon and Jen, all my friends, for doing that. It was great. Yeah,
exactly. And next time, Lyndon, I've told you before, can I have an invite, please? I mean, I may not come because of the distance, but at least it's nice to be invited so you can say no,
That's true. No, that is true.
Yeah, don't just assume that I can't do it. I'm just going to cough 2 secs.
It's all right. The snow is coming down a bit faster. We're only about 8 hours earlier than it would come down. So.
Oh, well, it's really funny, isn't it? Because before we clicked record, you said, oh, well, we're expecting a little bit of snow. Oh, here it is.
It's going to make things interesting when it comes to travel, I suspect, but we'll see. It'll be what it'll be.
Well, I mean, you don't live in North Yorkshire without having to deal with the snow, do you? So
that's true. That's true.
It's your own fault for living that. Maybe you should live in the south, and then you'd be all right.
Where even if they saw a millimetre of it, it'd turn into an epic meltdown of Chernobyl proportions. So
you're right. I'm laughing because you're right.
It's like in Merseyside, if there's even a millimetre, everything grinds to a halt. Oh, poor Southerners, eh? Everyone's and Merseyside Liverpudlians. So yeah.
Well, I was going to say everyone's a Southerner compared to you, really, aren't they? So
well, I'm sure the Scots would disagree, but yeah.
Well, everyone we were talking about is a Southerner compared to you.
Yes. My hearty, manly northerners.
Yeah, flick him on the arm and he breaks. But there you have it. I did have a little bit of listener feedback from the last time that you and I recorded, which was from Owen Edmonds. He listened while he was in Iceland with his mum.
Thank you for that. Remember? Thank you. That's dedication.
Yeah. He had a good old chuckle at me telling the story of him having a nosebleed. And because before I actually released it, I did actually check. I said, actually, is it okay that I said it? And he said, yes, it's fine. So that was all good. But he sent me a picture, which was really, really funny, at the fact that Iceland have an Iceland.
You're kidding me.
No, not kidding at all. So
you've gone down in my estimation greatly.
Yeah, so I'll send you over the picture. And I thought it was really, really funny. But and he was like, he's because he posted up on Facebook saying, that he'd just seen Iceland in Iceland or something like that. Or I can't remember exactly what he wrote, but I said something along the lines of, oh my God, I just thought, have they got an Iceland? And he said, yes, but I'm not going to take a photo because I'm not a dick. And I said, could you just take a photo for me, though? And if anyone asks, tell them that this crazy British person wants it. And so he did. So that's good.
Good.
So, but his feedback was when I was talking about Spider-Man having webs coming out of his backside, out of his farting webs. Mm-hmm. He said, in the last Doctor Strange multiverse of madness, webs out of the butt was posed by America Chavez at the beginning of the film. So Doctor Strange and Wong gave each other a look and moved on. So apparently I must have actually picked up the fact that this was actually addressed in that film, but I didn't realize.
You were onto something.
Yeah. So, I must have been good, must have subconsciously been thinking about that already. So take that out of the book. So I've covered that bit. And the other thing that I did was because I've not really done anything over the week, but like I've got Codswallop on the road again, and some deep thoughts and funny thoughts. So shall we move on to our Codswallop first, and then
I think we can. Yes.
Yeah. Well, seems like you've got some Codswallop. Yes. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, it's not a huge one, but I find it interesting that my electric provider. I'm in credit to them, but they won't allow me to reduce my payment levels, and they suggested a figure I could pay to them, which is so high that I'm not sure what I'm paying for. Oh. Whether they think I'm running some sort of cannabis grow or something. It makes absolutely no sense. It's bonkers.
Is that your electric heater causing you the bills to go up because you keep turning it on?
I mean, I'm so manly that I rarely have the heating on. So.
We know that that's not true.
But no, it's insane on the electric front because they are making a suggestive figure that I'm like, I've never ever touched that as a figure ever. I can't quite fathom where they've got it from.
No, I think that's also
unless I'm running my neighbour's house at the same time or something. So,
I mean, is that a possibility? Is that the fact that
no? There's literally no rhyme or reason to the figure they have suggested as an estimate. It makes no sense whatsoever. It is a weird one.
No, but also, like it's also a bit disgusting as well, isn't it? That they've done that to you with all the sort of crisis of bill paying and stuff like that that's going on at the moment.
The theory I've heard is they're allowing people to get into credit, in essence, to cover for the people who are in debit to them. So it's just like having a giant pot for them to cover, the people who are racking up huge bills. But yeah, it's totally illogical because they sort of say you cannot reduce it by. I wasn't even looking at a huge amount, but they said, we suggest you pay this. And I'm like, yeah, no, I've never, it'd take about 2 + 3 months to reach the level they're suggesting. So crazy.
No, that's disgusting. No, that's awful. And yeah, and also the fact that why should you, like, I don't want anyone to suffer or anything like that,
No.
but why should you have to pay for somebody else's bill?
Well, that's the theory. I mean, I'm not saying that's the exact case, but it
Yeah.
just is a very odd situation that if you're in credit to them and you're saying, well, I want to reduce the amount I'm paying, they don't allow you to do it. It's just saying, we'll not allow you to take it down. Now, it's possible that you might be able to email them and say, I want to use what I've got in the pot to pay for a period of time, then I'll start paying again. But God knows what bills can end up like. So maybe having all this money in the pot will be useful to me. We'll see. But yeah, that's just my codswallop.
No, fair enough.
Bar humbug to the electric company. Which,
yeah.
But I won't be recording next time because the electric company will have heard this and cut off all my power.
Well, at least we got this episode in the bank.
Their revenge will be swift.
We'll just get you a dongle.
Well, it's like, did I mention that? I don't know if I'd mentioned this to you, but there was a few weeks ago when I was sat in my study and I was listening to a recording and I suddenly heard this bang. And I was like, what the hell is that? And like my router went off and everything. And there was like noises and lights had been flickering. And it turns out somewhere around here, there'd been one of the transformers had exploded and it knocked out loads of power, not just to like locality. We're talking miles away. It was crackers. And it went on for hours. I mean, for me, it wasn't too bad because stuff came back on, but it was late at night and I went to bed anyway. But for other places, it was knocked out until like the early hours of the morning. So yeah, maybe I'm paying for that as well.
Yeah, maybe. Although you should be getting money back from that. But yeah, we have it. But yeah, I just as soon as you said transformer, I just heard Mark Wahlberg going, "It's a transformer," but I can't say it. Go on. You can try.
I can't really do Mark Wahlberg's voice, but all I ever think of is that line that he gets readily mocked for. What? No.
Yeah. It's a transformer. I don't know. I'm no good at that kind of thing. But yeah, as soon as you said transformer, though, that's robots in disguise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's as soon as you said that, that's what I started thinking of. But yeah. Well, I'm sorry, the electric company is screwing you over, but
could be a lot worse. I honestly am not too upset by it. Could be a hell of a lot worse. So.
Yeah. See, James is still positive when he's angry about stuff. So
yes. Well, you've got enough rage for both of us.
Well, on that note, let's move on to my codswallops.
Settling, kids.
Well, I have a salty tadpole codswallop first, so I'll use that one first. So
excellent.
You know what? Graham Arnold obviously helps us
yes.
to promote the podcast and whatnot. He's actually been blocked on Facebook. I mean, this was 2 weeks ago, so he may not be now anyway, but he was blocked on Facebook for sharing our content.
I told, no, it's lies. I told him to stop posting those pictures. He'd get in trouble, but he wouldn't listen to me, would he?
Well, okay, fair enough. Yeah, well, in that case, then Graham, I take it all back. No, he apparently, he did get blocked on Facebook for oversharing, and
it was weird.
yeah, definitely. So it's hard enough for indie podcasters to get their name out there, but people try to help you and then they get blocked on social media. So I don't know how that works, but there we have it. So Graham, sorry you got blocked because of us, but thank you ever so much for trying, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for putting the effort in. Sorry, like slightly backfired, but swings and roundabouts.
Yes. Now on to my codswallops. I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, I'm going to go and do something. I'll be back in about an hour, and we might have got to the end of the fourth one.
Nope, you're staying there. Right, okay. So the first one is, and you know how, again, when we last recorded, you said you joked about your dad and said that he did the whole dust test.
Yes, dust this counter. Yes.
Yes. Well, my mum actually that day after we'd finished recording and hadn't heard what we'd discussed because obviously the episode hadn't been released, but she came into my room and did the dust test, and she was like, "Oh, it's a bit grubby." And I was like, "Well, I wonder what," because I'd literally just dusted, a couple of days beforehand. So, should have been okay. And so she did that and she was like, "Oh, Gemma, it's really dusty." And she had a go at me and stuff like that. So I was thinking back and I was like, do you know what? The reason why it was dusty, because bloody Graham had to sand my bedroom door and he didn't think to tell me that he had to sand it. So I turned around to her and I said, you can take back your disgust and you can direct it at the right person, thank you. I'm not a dirty girl. So poor Graham though then got backfired on Graham, unfortunately, but and I can confirm now that I am dust free now, so it's all good.
You see, that's what happens, Graham. You do a good thing and you get punished.
Yeah, especially when you live with two women. He knows this, he's learnt this, so it's all good.
Yes, I'm impressed that you're still hanging on to your sanity, Graham.
Earlier we kind of alluded to the evil postman, and he's back. He had a go at my mum again. I wasn't here, so I don't know the full story, but he said, "Is that dog on the lead? Is that dog on the lead?" And he was like just freaking out, and he's like, "I'm going to put him on the bad dog list," and not bad.
He's clearly had a very bad experience with the dog, this man, at some point.
He has, but why is he treating us like this? We've explained to him, like every other person. This kind of really does get my goat, to be honest. Like really boils me, so to speak. But no, he's we've said to him, like it's just the fact that he's nervous. The dog's nervous. He just needs to come up to say hello. Obviously, if you're scared of dogs, then that's fair enough. We won't expect him to come and say hello. But at the same time, if you're that scared of dogs, why be a postie?
Maybe it's every other aspect of the job that he enjoys. I cannot comment on his behalf.
No, yeah. I know. But anyway, he keeps. But it's like he's keeps saying that he's going to put socks on the. I've forgotten what it's called. But not bad dog, your dangerous dog list. And he's not a dangerous dog. He does bark. He does what a dog does, but he's never bitten anyone. He'd never bite anyone. And that's why I say that, it's not best for us to joke about that kind of thing. But, it's like he'd never do anything to harm another person. He's a good dog, but, and it kind of was like when he's, with this postman screaming at my mum, and he was shouting at her really badly, and I'm thinking that, we can find out what his name is. I might actually report him. But, okay, if he's got a fear of dogs, that's fair enough, but you shouldn't be talking to my mum like that, screaming at her, sort of saying just horrible things. And it's also like he's trying to say that, "Oh, I'm just going to get your dog put down," kind of thing. But he's not done anything wrong. He's just being a dog,
it's a weird one. I can't really answer that one, I'm afraid, Gemma.
Why not?
It's a strange situation.
Why can't you give an opinion?
Well, I can give an opinion. All I can assume is that he'll see. The dog couldn't be put down, I don't think, through anything. But what he might do is just put a marker that there's like a barking dog there. That's pretty much all he could do, because they just list it against the property. So I don't know. It's odd. It's clearly he must have a fear of dogs, this guy. When it barks at him, that's the only thing I can think it'd be.
Well, I mean, yeah, well, that's fair enough. And if you have got a fear of dogs, that's fair enough too. But I don't know, just the fact that he's like it's kind of like attacking the family kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like he's just being a dog. He's just doing his job, so to speak. You know. So, and the post is doing his job. So, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one.
It is. It is.
Let's move on to another asshole. I went to the doctor's surgery the other day. I had to have an ECG, and I also had to have my diabetes checkup as well.
Yeah.
And the ECG was to do with COVID, and that was absolutely fine. And actually, that's positive news. The diabetes checkup was really, really positive.
Good. It was.
Yeah. In 6 months, I'd lost £10, and without trying. And also my levels have kind of maintained the same, so which is really promising. So we might be able to look into me coming off my medication slightly, you know, so that it's not on there fully. So yeah, it was really, really positive. And I said to the nurse that she could see me again because I liked her. But while I was in the waiting room, there was a guy in there, and he had his he was playing a game or whatever on his phone, which fair enough, I was as well. But he had his notifications turned right up. Yeah. He was just such an ass. And it was like every 5 seconds, it was like bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, 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 bong, or whatever, you know. And then he decided to take a call from his mate, and he put it on speakerphone.
Oh yeah, that is very annoying. I've never understood why people do that unless they've got like a hearing problem.
Yeah. But even if you have, you know, like just stick it. I don't understand why you need to put your phone on speaker to if you've got a hearing problem. You know, like if you've got a hearing problem, then surely it should be closer to your ear.
It's just whether they want it sort of very loud as you would have. I don't know. I can't answer this person. It's a very I've never understood when people go into like shops and have full blown, very loud conversations.
No. Yeah,
or going to shops and having entire conversations with the friends. And I'm like, fuck off, go away.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy definitely can get in the bin. Like Posty can keep his head out at the moment. He's, you know, I'm allowing him to stay out a little bit. But this guy honestly is just he's such an asshole, you know. He's like, I'm in the doctor's surgery. Yeah, hopefully I'm going to be able to get whatever it was. And I was like, oh, God. And then the person came and called me in, so I was like, oh, thank God for that. I didn't have to hear that.
At least you weren't subject to them for too long.
No, long enough, but not too long, no. And, you know, like I said, that, you know, I've been a bit irritable the last few, you know, because of being tired and, you know, like everything else. And so I was like, I just want to go over there and smack this guy in the face with his phone.
See, Salty Tadpoles, I wasn't lying. So rageful.
No, honestly, well, yeah, sometimes I am, but you know, it's just so annoying, isn't it? It's like bang, bing, 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 bang, bang, bang. Oh my God. Anyway, I'm getting it all off my chest. And
number 4. Isn't it number 4?
Number 4. Right. Number 4 is changing. I'm going to keep the other one that I've got written for another week. Okay. So number 4, because there was actually 5, and I thought 5 was a bit excessive, but there you have. Seagulls.
Go on.
Well, I took my car to be washed. Yeah, it was, to be fair, my car was filthy, needed a really good wash. But I was going to take it to, you know, the guys that I normally go to who do like hand washes. But unfortunately, it was like a 2-hour waiting time for that. So I decided, I'll sod it. I'll just put it through the car wash this time. So I did. And, you know, spent, it's about a tenner on it. to get it, properly washed. Got it all nice and sparkling. Drove out of the car wash. About 5 minutes later, the evil seagulls, they came along and went and pooed all over my car.
Yep, been there, done that. The theory behind it is that because the car is shiny, it reflects light.
Yes.
It's clean, so it's shining. That's why they crap on it. I was going to get my car washed recently, and I was like, yeah, the birds just keep crapping on it anyway, and it's going to be bad weather, so I just couldn't be bothered, basically.
Exactly. And I don't know if it was picked up on audio or not, but as we were talking about seagulls, it hasn't happened since, but they literally just went outside of the window. So
they're mocking you.
Yeah, so I think they were just laughing at the fact that, I was talking about their bowel movements, but damn you, seagulls!
Yeah. At least they weren't doing that thing that you see at the seaside where they steal people's food.
Oh, that's happened to me before, but I've told the story many a time.
Oh, yes, you have, yeah.
Yes,
but at least it didn't happen this time, so...
It didn't. No, it didn't. So that was good. That story I'm not allowed to tell along with your haunted house story.
Anyway, it was several years ago at Christmas, and
you put your coat in.
Yeah, I did. That was the scariest part. I put the coat down.
You realised it was cold, but everywhere else in the house was warm. Then the seagull came along and stole the sandwich.
It's like we created the ultimate weird, spooky story.
I think we should do it one day. One day we'll do it.
It's like if we fed the information to an AI system and it creates a story. Oh, I've just seen a pheasant fly past. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Is that what
yeah. I might actually like this idea of the AI person. Can we get them involved in the podcast so that they're not distracted by a pheasant just flew past?
It's all right. It's all right. It's only fair revenge. You got distracted by a barking dog and a screaming seagull. So I've had my feathered friend for this portion of the episode.
Yes. Well, there we have it. So have you seen anything funny on the road? On the road
I've seen a crash, which isn't particularly funny. When I was traveling down to see my dad, that was probably the main thing that I saw happen.
That's not funny.
The annoying moment of the fact they're digging up bits of road near my father, which just leads to what should be about a 10-minute journey leading to try and get away, just to get near the motorway, taking about 3/4 an hour.
Salty Tadpoles, James just doesn't understand what On the Road Again with Gemma and James, because he actually interrupted my song a minute ago, so I wanted to start it again. But he doesn't understand, does he, Salty Tadpoles, that all of what he's just said, apart from the car crash, because that can't be put anywhere, but the traffic works and stuff, that is all Codswallop. On the Road Again is funny stuff.
I thought it was a mixture of just your rageful driving moments, so maybe I've misunderstood.
You did. So it's like for On the Road Again with Gemma and James. That is for things that are slightly funny. So okay. You see,
I've got nothing funny, but let's place our bets, Tadpoles. If Gemma comes out with something, will it morph into a rageful moment?
No, not this. Not this one. So I do have one, which is On the Road Again, but I'm also going to put a funny story into the On the Road Again as well. So, so the first one is I saw a lady walking along. I was parked up in a car park, and she was walking along with her lovely little white puppy. Who was being very boisterous and ran all around her legs. And in the end, the woman just tripped over it, but it was really funny. I'm sure it wasn't funny for her, but it was funny for me to watch. No. So sod it. It was funny for me, so it was all good.
We've morphed into cruelty. Keep going.
Well, you'll think the other one's funny, I'm sure. But no. So. Yeah. But no, yeah, I think it was just because the lead got kind of tied around her leg sort of thing, and she just literally just yeah, fell over. She didn't hurt herself, she was fine.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And the other funny story was that this was a couple of weeks ago. It must have been last week actually. I decided it was early morning, so it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning because I was going into the office, and I went to get some petrol. So that's all good. Filled up the car, and not fully, but up to 20 quid worth or whatever. And grabbed my wallet. And as I was just about to walk through the door, I dropped my wallet on the floor. And I was like, oh, bloody hell. So I just bent down, picked it up, and literally stepped foot over the door, because it's sliding doors. So stepped foot over the door frame and dropped my car keys on the floor. And I was like, oh, for God's sake, like this. So I just bent down, picked them up. And then I got coffee. And so all good so far, right? So I went to go and get the coffee, paid for it. Everything's absolutely fine. Yeah. And so then when I got back to the car, I just popped the coffee on the top of the roof. I'd forgotten it being a bit icy. And that was the third thing. The coffee slid off the roof, but luckily missed me completely. So that's good. But yeah, it fell on the floor. And I was like, I just went,
that's unacceptable. That's a waste of coffee.
I know.
I am traumatized by that.
Sorry,
that's just too bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lie down for a bit and process.
We can lie down soon. Well, yeah. Sorry, I do apologize, but no, honestly, I was like, huh. And then I sort of looked over, and the woman, the woman behind the till, the cashier, she sort of beckoned me over, and I went over to the window. She goes, "You can go get another coffee." I just saw that, so she let me just without obviously having to pay for it. So I was like, "Oh, that's amazing! Thank you so much." I said, "I'm not having a good day." At that point, I did wonder if I should actually carry on into the office, or whether I should just turn around and go home. But
I was going to say, what, at this point in time, are you sure you're safe to be out on that day? Because it sounds like
not sure.
Was just going wrong.
I'm definitely not sure. I'm not sure about that one. But but yeah. So I was like, well, at least it's a story for the podcast. Something to laugh at.
And you got a replacement coffee, which is
did.
To be honest, the most important part of the entire process for me.
Yeah, exactly. And and also it didn't cover me as well, which would also have been a bit annoying, and also hot as well, because I mean it was a latte, so it's not a real, it's not, it's from
not real
machine.
Coffee. Yeah, it's not this kind of like the stuff I drink where it's some sort of paint thinner.
Yeah, exactly. So, so that's my week. And also I had a deep thought. So should we end my little bit on a deep thought?
Yes, please. I'm interested. I'm interested / afraid what I'm going to hear.
So I was looking up at the sky at night, and I was just contemplating the world, could see Jupiter and Venus, I think it is, that are the two planets that are very visible at the moment. I'm pretty certain it's those two. And so I was like, but I'd been out the front a couple of times, having a cigarette and stuff, and obviously Jupiter and that moved. So I thought to myself, surely if the moon moves with the time, if the sailors are using the star navigation to go north, so obviously following the northern star, aren't they in fact going around in a circle?
That is a deep thought, and I have absolutely no idea. I cannot answer that one. That's an interesting one. Salty Tadpoles, if any of you are involved in either stargazing or have an issue in understanding of naval movement, please answer this question because
Naval
we're
movement.
stumped. Well, it's naval movement, isn't it? It is upon the sea. It's traveling,
Yeah.
in a naval format.
Well, I know, just tickled me. Sorry.
Well, so I think Salty Tadpole's telling what's amused, Gemma, is this idea that if you're sat in a boat using the facilities, you're having a naval movement.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, yeah. No, so salty tadpoles out there. If you have got any knowledge of naval movements and astrology, I think it's astrology.
Maritime. There you go. Maritime to reduce the naval movement. If you are involved in any maritime activities, there we go.
Yeah.
Less filthy.
If you're a sailor or you like looking at the stars. No, it just like I thought to myself, because because obviously they do say they use the North Star or Northern Star, whatever it is, North Star, isn't it? That they use that to sort of guide them as long as they can see that in the sky, blah 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 blah. But it does actually wonder like how.
I mean, most of the time, I think they use sonar and maps.
Oh yeah.
In an absolute moment of necessity, they can use the stars. So
yeah. So it's like olden times, probably more than current day. But so there we have it. I saved the best bit till last. Then it seems, yeah.
I've got no response from that. It's not an area of expertise. So, maritime people, get involved.
Yes, I would genuinely like it if people actually did get involved with that one. It would be nice to sort of find out, and if I'm just talking a load of crap, or if there's actually some logical reason why it happens.
You wouldn't really be talking crap; you'd be talking Codswallop. But
oh yeah, branding.
Yeah, branding.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear, my throat's hurting a bit now. So I think I'm done with talking for a bit. So James, have you got anything you want to talk about?
I found a weird story that we could discuss.
Yeah, let's wrap it. Let's wrap this episode up with a nice little bow of weird story of the week. Because I've covered enough weird stories in my own life, so.
Well, we've all been there when we've tried to move furniture, I'm sure, in some or items in some way or another, and we all know it can be annoying. But
yes,
moving large furniture from one place to another when all you've got is a Fiat 500 can be a little tricky. So there is someone who in Hastings in Sussex who is trying to move. I mean, it's truly terrifying. They've tried to load a cupboard into a Fiat 500, and it's bigger than the car. It's hanging out that much from the back of the car. It says that they're trying to move. They basically wedged it into the boot, but unfortunately, the drivers were spotted by the police.
Oh no!
It's like the most dangerous. It's like it's not even like a quarter of it is in the car, and there's they've just kind of wedged what they can in. It's like there's nothing there. It's like.
I think I can't actually see the image, but I can definitely visualize what this looks like. Definitely. It's crazy.
It's come on, people, stump up the 20 quid or whatever it is to get a van to move it rather than being pulled over and fined by the police and probably give them points on your license. It is literally longer than the car, this thing.
What was it like, dragging on the floor or something?
Well, it's literally just sticking out the back of the vehicle so far.
Oh God, yeah. I didn't think of it that way.
They've not even tied it down.
Oh my God. Oh dear.
What's a level of dim-wittery that is.
Well, I mean, people have to learn the hard way sometimes, don't they? And that certainly is the hard way of learning something. So
can you imagine the police person pulling them over, being like, "Really? You honestly thought this was a good idea?"
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you watch, I don't know if you do, but I've watched those like those police programs, that they
Mhm.
do. I can't think of any of their names at the moment, but there was one guy who basically a lorry had just pulled over, but just before the turning for a roundabout. So it was so he was on his main road still, so he wasn't actually on the roundabout, but he'd moved over to sort of like the left lane
Mhm.
to pull over just so he could use his mobile phone. But it meant that everybody who was coming off the dual carriageway or the motorway or whatever was having to swerve around him to turn left. Yeah, I know. It's like, seriously, why are people stupid? Oh dear. Might be an
Selfish
episode.
stupidity, I'm afraid. So yeah.
Yeah, might be an episode title. Why are people stupid?
Yeah. That would be a multi-episode title. So
Yeah. Although, actually, I'm going to end the episode with this stupid thing that I said. So,
okay.
so today I had a long COVID rehab session with
Yes.
lovely lady that deals with me, and she is lovely. And I said to her that I'm not being overly happy and blah blah blah, and then she said to me, "Oh well, you know, you just I said, "Oh, I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to turn that smile upside down." And I was like, but I like genuinely said it without thinking, and I was like, "That's not right. Let's turn it around. Turn that frown
Yes.
upside down."
That's the one.
Yeah. I was like, not only does it rhyme, but actually, who would want to actually turn a smile upside down?
Yes.
So there we have
The
it.
lady was probably thinking, do you wish to stay miserable? Or have I misunderstood this part of the conversation?
No, she just laughed. She thought it was funny. So yeah, it's all good. She realized that my brain just decided not to work at that point.
Yep. Brain done broken. Understood.
Exactly. So I don't know about you, James, but I think that's a great way to end this episode.
I
So
would agree.
yeah. So in that case, then I have been Gemma.
I've been James.
And we have been talking Codswallop.
We certainly have. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.